Hello everyone. Today we are going to be talking about day 3. Oh, sorry, day 13. Where am I? Okay. Today we'll be talking about day 13, exercise and movement. It is a very important part. Just a minute. It's a very important part of leading a very healthy lifestyle, exercise, in my opinion. At the same time, there has to be mindfulness about when to exercise and when to push yourself. It's like if the body is not in a condition to exercise and if it has not healed at all, you are really struggling to even stand on your feet, or if you're really struggling to with let's say a lot of body parts, then exercise is not your answer. It is basically a lot of rest. So when is exercise more important? When is the right time to exercise? What is why do we have to exercise? All of these things we are going to discuss today. So John Ratey said, exercise is really for the brain, not for the body. It affects mood, vitality, alertness, and feelings of well-being. It is very, very important that you cannot lead a sedentary lifestyle. How much ever raw foods and how much ever good food that you eat, that is not enough, because nature cure is not all about just eating and eating raw foods. It's not about that. It's also about living very close to nature. So if you were in nature, what would you typically do? You would go and then look for your food. And then in the process of looking for your food, you would go walk a lot, maybe climb trees, and then run, jump from branch to branch. So there are lots of things that you would do, which is in today's life, we call it exercises. Of course, they would call it living, but we would call it exercises. So what really is an exercise? Anything for that matter: walking, running, swimming, dancing, yoga, tai chi, functional, HIIT, CrossFit, core, body weight exercises, gardening, Pilates, anything for that matter, gardening, all of that is called exercises. Okay, so which means what you're trying to do is you're going out of your way to move the body, which you really wouldn't move otherwise. For example, when I ask many people, what do you do at home? They would just say that, yeah, sometimes I exercise, sometimes I don't exercise. And their definition of exercise was also very, very difficult. They wouldn't be able to share. So is regular work at home exercises? Sometimes we don't tend to go outside, take professional help and exercise. We tend to do exercises at home. Unless you're intrinsically motivated from within, then working at home exercises, you will always compromise, because you will say, oh, I got a plate, many things like that. Oh, today I really was busy with my work, I don't feel like exercising. So there are 1,001 reasons to exercise, and there is hardly any reason that you want to exercise. So sometimes we give all of these bahanas. So it is very important that we have to push ourselves to exercise on a regular basis, because like anything, for example, when we spoke about yesterday, when all these people who came and talked about their healing, whatever they followed with a lot of consistency, they followed with a lot of commitment and all of that, right? So our mind and body muscles, you can call them muscles, they work regularly, majorly when you put them consistently in the same direction. Even for that matter, when it comes to, let's say, a typical lifestyle, leading a typical lifestyle, we tend to eat something, again go on a fast to detox that, again we eat something, again there is some craving, again we detox. Why are we detoxing? Because of guilt. Okay, so what is happening here? There is a lot of ups and downs happening in your regular lifestyle itself. You may be doing the best form of raw. In between, when you do a lot of these ups and downs, even with respect to fasting, body will not be able to understand what is happening. Unless the body needs some kind of rest, you can't keep giving it rest, which means you can't put it to a certain form of let's say fasting, or you can't put it to a certain form of not exercising and all of those things. So what happens is it basically thinks that, oh, I'm exercising someday, I'm not exercising someday. Some days I'm pushing myself to exercise more. So there is no pattern. So here, one takeaway that you have to understand is pattern is very, very important for the mind and for the body. That is what actually helps you get better. Instead of working for 1 hour, working out for 1 hour exercises, even doing 5 minutes on a daily basis is far more consistent. Let's say if you do 1 hour today, after 2 days you don't do, and then again 1 more hour you do, and then after 3 days 1 more hour you do. Somehow with a lot of push, you're like pushing it, going for this 1 hour exercises. But that is not at all going to help you. As opposed to even doing 5 to 10 minutes at home, but definitely following that routine every single day is going to help you far more than that intermittently doing those kinds of things. So regular workouts, when you do regular workouts, for example, people say, oh, I'm working a lot in the kitchen, bachon ka kaam hota hai, so many people, so many kids, the kids work I have lots of, what do you say, jadu pocha and all of that I have to do. I have to use a lot. I have to do the brooming, mopping, and I have to wash the clothes and all that. So many of these things, in my opinion, will be considered stress, unless you know how is your posture, unless you're mindful about your posture, and you are doing all of those things like exercises. Until that happens, you are just bending in some random fashion, you're not breathing in some random fashion. So that regular just working at home does not become your exercises. How is walking an exercise? When it comes to the body, if you have a body where you can really move it well, please move the body. There are so many senior citizens who really cannot move their body because of their lifestyles, and their hands, they can't lift their hands, they can't maybe bend their legs, and many of these issues are there. So for them, whatever it is, at least go walk is what we are going to say. But then when you are able to move your body around, don't just say that I'm going for a walk, that is my exercise. That is not going to be your exercise, because when you're not moving your body parts at all, you're just going to walk. That is just going to be like some kind of calorie burning exercise, which is a cardio kind of thing. And even then, I've not seen many people walking briskly. So we are not walking briskly, your heart rate is not pumping very hard, and all of those things, then that is not at all exercise. Because when you exercise, what happens, especially when you are consuming juices, all the cells in your body go through a lot of detox. And for example, things, now here there is a joint, there is a bend, there is a joint here, there is a bend. So lots of bends and ups and downs are there inside the body. The toxins get accumulated in all of these places, because the blood will be flowing there, and then suddenly there is a bend, there is an up, and there is a down, like a waterfall, it will just keep going. In between, we also have a lot of toxins and other things, right? So when juices are consumed, all of these things will start getting released. Now, when the body is releasing all these toxins from across the body, they need to be carried to the kidneys for appropriate releasing. In the past, when you did not do exercises and then you are not hydrated well enough, then even if you did not exercise, the body did not have enough liquids to move them out. Even if you're on full raw, that is also not enough to move all of these things out. You will be able to detox to a certain level, but then after a certain point, you will not be able to detox. You will get to know only when you break that cycle. Then what all is going to come back, you will know. But then when you are on juicing, what happens is, even when you quit for some time and you see, even if whatever little symptom you had when the body has not yet detoxed, you will see that very, very mildly, or the severity will be very less. But people who are on majorly only eating solids all the time, as soon as they quit and then maybe try something else, immediately they'll be able to see a very, very severe spike in their symptoms. So hence, you have to ensure that you drink juices and then ensure that all of these toxins are getting flushed out to the kidneys, and exercises really help them move a lot. So depending on your body condition, like I said, you have to do appropriate exercises. Like if you are a person who is in the younger side, then do enough exercises. Initially, you may not be able to do a lot of exercises. Initially, you may not be able to do a lot of exercises, but then slowly, as you start practicing it, you will be able to do, because muscles in the body are such that it works only when you use it. It does not depend on food. Yes, it depends on food in the sense, if the muscles are full of toxins, then for that to grow and all, it might take time. I mean, in a healthy way. You might take protein supplements and all of those things, and then that will get into ready-made protein in the muscles. But then the kidney goes through a lot of issues because of that. So when you build your muscles with just a lot of raw and just the simple whatever food you're eating, since you are healthy, or since you are able to detox and all of those things, the body will be in a better condition to support you when you are exercising. And the body, when the muscles tear, how the muscles grow, the muscles tear, and in that place, it is called a micro tear, and in that place, the muscles will get stitched up. And like this only, it will tear, it will get stitched up, it will tear, it will get stitched up. So like this, the muscle becomes bigger and fatter and fatter and fatter. That is what is called muscles. So the longer you go on a good exercise routine, even if your body gets older and older, you will not really feel weaker. Otherwise, even on a very healthy, fully raw food lifestyle, if you are not exercising, then you will feel like a very old person. So you should exercise, because over a period of time, if you don't use your muscles, you will lose them. And to build those things, as you start aging, the amount of time or the amount of effort that is required to grow the muscles is far higher. So the younger you are, the better it is for you to exercise. But then even if you are older, it is not too late for you to start exercising. Then mind-body coordinated exercises. For example, yogasana is a very mind-body coordinated exercise where there is breathing and there is a lot of focus on the asanas and all of those things. And of course, there is a lot of functional exercises also, which has a lot of mind-body exercises. For example, many things where you move your hands and your legs together, or many exercises where you're balancing and you're also doing balancing on your leg and also moving your body, or let's say you're doing core exercises. In that core exercises, let's say you're doing Russian twist. In that also you're doing Naukasana, which means your legs are raised up and you're in the boat pose. With that, let's say you're doing Russian twist. So all of these things are mind-body coordinated exercises. So when you do a lot of mind-body coordinated exercises, the mind is also getting that exercise and it is aligning with the body. It is very important to do that. See, when we, in our regular day-to-day lifestyle itself, when we are chopping vegetables or anything, if our mind and body is in the same place, then we are in the present. If our mind and body is not in the same place, mind is somewhere in the past or in the future, and body is currently, let's say, chopping vegetables. So this is not mind-body coordination. It is basically body is just going on autopilot mode and it is doing something. So it is very important that your mind and body is in the same place when you are exercising. And there is a lot of difference between exercising for strength, exercising for flexibility. So flexibility is anyway very important. Some people do a lot of strength training, building a lot of muscles and all of that. But then if they are not at all focusing on flexibility in their body, stretches in their body and all of that, then they'll just be bulky, but they'll not have any kind of flexibility. So the muscles will not, the muscles in the sense, the hamstrings and all of those things really will not get that stretch. Bending and all of that, they'll not be able to do so much. Bending, back bending, all of that, they won't be able to do. Every single portion of the body has to go through all the movements that it is meant for. You don't have to push it to move in the direction that it was not meant to do. For example, if we are taking our hips for that matter, we can bend back also, we can bend it down also. To some extent, we can bend in sides also. So these kinds of things are very much necessary for flexibility. What about strength? Strength, when you combine strength all the time, always we'll have to go for strength first. Many people just do cycling, running, walking and all of that, or let's say sport jogging and all of those things, swimming, but they don't really bother about building strength in their muscles. I have seen many children also who are put into football, basketball, cricket, all of these games, boys and girls both together, but they wouldn't have had any focus. Of course, the trainers there get them to do some amount of strength training or muscle workout, but it is not very focused. So because of that, the children get into a lot of injuries. Here, many people complain saying, oh, the children are vegan. That is why they're getting injuries. It doesn't work like that. It is just that the vegan children are far more healthier. Not vegan children, children who are eating healthy plant-based foods are far more healthier compared to the other children. They might look very strong. Other children might look very strong and all of that. But over a period of time, their body ages very, very fast. So in their early ages itself, they'll get a lot more diseases. So it is very important for this strength to be built up all the time. So even before you handle cardio and other things, first target strength. Always cardio should be followed cardio should be followed by after strength training, you'll have to do the cardio. So then whatever effort you put in the cardio will also strengthen your muscles even more. Okay. So just don't do only cardio. You otherwise you will just keep becoming thinner and thinner. You have to use your effort for strengthening yourself. Strengthening means slight amount of body weight exercises. If you're doing just functional exercises or your own exercises at home, then you are supporting your own body in many ways, right? For example, push-ups are a body weight exercise, or let's say what is called lunges. All of those things are you're supporting your own body, right? So many of these things are very important. Over a period of time, you keep trying push-ups, many push-ups, let's say wall push-ups, table push-ups, and then half push-ups, all of those things. Over a period of time, your muscles will start strengthening. At least your arms and muscles will start strengthening. So then legs also will have to strengthen. And then you'll have to combine many of these things where all your muscle groups are targeted for some amount of strength training. And then every day go for very little walks also along with strength training. So just doing walks is not good at all for a long-term basis. So what exercises to choose for long-term well-being? So yeah, like I said, choose a combination of strength, choose a combination, you can choose a combination of functional exercises where all the body is going through a lot of functions, like let's say hand moves like this, then your leg moves like in whatever way, then the hips will bend, then it can also twist like this. So these are called functions. So you can do a lot of functional exercises where these movements are targeted. So typically they're called functional exercises. Then you can do core exercises where a lot of core strength. It is not about removing belly fat or something. It is more about the abdomen part is called the core of the body. It's called the center of the body. And then when the center of the body muscles are very strong, especially when pregnant ladies have done a lot of exercises even before their pregnancy, then there is a very less chance they will get into these muscles becoming weak. People get into hernia, and when the muscles are very weak, hernia and all of those things can develop. When the gut is very weak, those muscles also will become very weak. Then all these muscles in the stomach region also will go through a lot of problems. So it is important that you exercise your core and then exercise your pelvis and all of that for that strength to happen. So choose a mixture of, let's say, some amount of functional exercises, some amount of HIIT, which is high intensity workouts, where you are, let's say, targeting some 4 to 5 exercises, and then those 4 to 5 exercises continuously you're doing, and then you take some rest, 2 minutes to 3 minutes rest. Then again, you'll do the same exercises one more time. So like that, 4 sets of the same exercises when you're able to do, then that stamina you will develop, that heart rate will become better and better and better, because you're constantly either, you're not taking rest in between any of these exercises. So these exercises might last, let's say, for 1 minute. Majorly, for 1 minute, it might last. That's all. But after that, you're taking 3 minutes. So 1 minute, your heart is constantly at a higher rate. So that will make your heart rate better. Oxygenated blood will be pumped to all your cells, all of that. Then body weight exercises are more about you carrying your own body weight. Even in yoga, there is a lot of body weight exercises. In fact, Ashtanga yoga, more than Hatha yoga, Ashtanga yoga has a lot of body weight movements, including in Surya Namaskar also. You can do a lot of such body weight exercises. If you take just Surya Namaskara, if you do it very fast, then you can turn it into cardio. If you do it very slowly, which means measuring like 1 minute holding and all of that, it becomes a lot of strength. Then when you want to make it more HIIT kind of thing, you'll be continuously doing for 1 minute, then hold, then continuously doing for 1 minute. And in that also, you'll have to ensure that you do a lot of mixture of other movements and all of that. So you can do anything with yoga also, but depending on what is your objective. Then, yeah, I told about this, right? Our ancestors were hunter-gatherers and they spent their day outside. So we can't just spend our day inside and expect betterment. So what are the physical benefits of exercises? Exercise strengthens the heart muscles. Like I said, not just the heart muscles, all the muscles it will strengthen. And then oxygenated blood is getting passed on to all the cells. Then lymphatic movement improves. Because like I said, when you move the body parts, it is like you shaking yourself. Like if you take a bottle and then everything is stuck on the sides of the bottle, you put water, you close the lid, and then you shake like this, no? To that extent, exercises really will help you, especially when juices and all go inside the body. It is like you shaking the bottle. So the body is like sort of shook up like this, and then all the things will just sort of get washed off. Always when you do anything, right, you can compare it to something which we really do commonly. So apply common sense in everything that we do, and you'll be able to see the connection. Because nature cure is a subject which does not require any kind of course. It does not require any degree. Even a woodcutter can also understand this very easily. And it just requires some discipline, understanding, and some common sense, and anybody can do it. So if we have to keep ourselves healthy, we don't have to really spend a lot of money to upgrade ourselves with knowledge. All that we need is to understand what is common sense for us, what is close to nature. If I was a vegetable, and if I was growing on a plant, then you wouldn't give me some kind of you wouldn't feed the plant some cooked food and all that, right? Because I will need cooked food and all. Similarly, if I am also a natural being, what is my natural food also we have to understand, because I'm the same person, because my entire body is made up of the same 5 elements. Vegetable is also made up of the same 5 elements. Fruit is also made up of the same 5 elements, right? Pets are also made up of the same 5 elements. So typically, if you've seen our pets in the city, they get the same disease as us also. Why? Because they are also eating like us only. So all kinds of complex diseases even they get. But if you look at the wild animals, they don't get complex diseases. They get something where they could not hunt properly and they died, or they died of old age, or some animal has bit them and they could not recover, or there was the sun's heat or something is so drastic, or they died of dehydration. So these are all natural causes, but people in the city or animals in the city die of unnatural causes. So lymphatic movement is also improved, I told, right? So nutrition uptake actually improves. Nutrition uptake means when the blood is, like when the lymphatic movement improves, the blood movement also improves. Blood carries nutrition. Then your cells will start releasing toxins, especially when you are on juices. So then when they release toxins, the cell will also be in a better position to absorb nutrition. So in fact, people who drink juices, you will see that you will get a lot of good hunger, which is not very common even when you are on a very high raw lifestyle. There is always an issue with forcing yourself with nutrition. So today, when I was talking to somebody, very complex kind of issue, very confused life, majorly because of all the ups and downs that have happened, because of understanding what is happening in the body, and they have gone to allopathy, homeopathy, Ayurvedic, extremely messed up the body was, and on top of that also they have gone to multiple nature cure practitioners. And then there also experimentation has happened. There also lots of ups and downs have happened. So in the process, mentally they had literally been dehydrated, drained a lot mentally also. And on top of this, there were so many yoga practitioners who had pushed them to eat even if they did not felt hungry, and pushed them to eat because they had to gain weight. Only if they gain weight, they will be able to do the exercises, is what they had told them. And they were forcing themselves to eat, and that was causing even more complications in the body. So like this, so many ups and downs. I mean, if that person was in front of me, I would definitely give them a hug, because there was no words to even, I did not have any words to console them. I did not have any, all that I felt was they just needed a big hug and an assurance that, okay, you'll be better, definitely you'll be better. So juices help them so much. And in such cases, I've seen that drastically the hunger improves. So when the drastically hunger improves, body improves in many cases, it will obviously be ready for any form of exercises very soon. We don't have to think that, oh, I need exercises, even if I'm not okay, even if I'm not even able to stand up on my feet, I'll definitely have to do exercise. It's not the right thing to think also like that. It's like you should treat your body like a patient who's in the ICU if it is very, very sick. At that time, constantly feeding that person also is detrimental. Constantly making that person exercise is also detrimental. So think, what would you do to a person who's in your condition? Would you give them more work? Would you give them errands to run, go here, go there kind of thing, and run and all of those things? If you're not giving another person like you all that work, then don't give your body also all that work. So treat it with a lot more respect, treat it with a lot more love and kindness. This is where a lot of ahimsa comes. When Patanjali spoke about ahimsa in the Yama and Niyama, he speaks about self, because yoga is about self. Even when you are talking about ahimsa, people always think that animal cruelty, ahimsa, some other cruelty, ahimsa. No, it is not always. It starts with self. Everything starts with self. If you are having ahimsa towards yourself and you're not pushing yourself unnaturally, then you will not even take advantage of other animals also unnaturally. If you are taking advantage of yourself to use your own body to your selfish needs without even understanding what the body needs, then you will use the other animals also to your advantage without understanding what that animal truly is, what it needs. So these are some things that you really have to think through, right? So then exercise also builds a lot of correct posture, symmetry, and strength for your other body parts also. Spinal cord is extremely important. So take care of yourself. Don't overdo exercises. At the same, don't underdo also. Just have a very positive mindset and you keep exercising. Today, you might just be able to do little when you start. Next time, you'll just, as you keep going, you'll get better and better. Especially, let's say if you're starting yoga, then give it at least 6 months for you to definitely get better. Then slowly, by the time it's 1 year and 2 years, you would have developed amazing strength. Even if you're doing other form of exercises, and if it's not yoga, if your gym instructors and all of those people are telling you have to have protein and all of that, please don't go to argue with them. You just say, okay. But then you do whatever you want to do. You don't have to be logically convincing everybody that you are doing this and making all of them okay. You just say, okay. You can say okay, but you do whatever you want, because whatever people tell you are only suggestions. You have the it's your discretion whether you want to follow it or not. Aging, again, like I said, before that aging starts, ensure that you have a good exercise routine so that you are not starting exercises when your body is really poor. For me, when I started my raw journey and all of that, I was not very serious with exercises. Not that I shouldn't do, or I didn't have any biases against exercises, but I was not very active. So some days I would go, some days I would not go, and those kinds of things. But one day I realized that I was not even able to put the center stand of the scooter. I felt, what is this? I'm not able to put the center stand of the scooter. And I was not able to, now let's say the scooter is parked like this. I had to pull the scooter out from the stand and then turn it towards the road and then move. That also was not possible. I had to beg the other passerbys to really do that and give. So I felt really like it was like a wake up call for me. And I started going to the gym. And then when I went into the gym for strength training and all of that, initially I was not even able to lift 0.25 kgs also. It used to really be very tiring. Then slowly I just stuck on to this, and then slowly I was able to build strength in my body. And then in 2019, I met with an accident where I lost complete. What do you say? This was a fracture, and then the bone had broken, and it had to get itself together, and the rods were removed. And then my hand was like this only. It had forgotten all the movements. So I had to train my hand from the 0 to 90. Okay. So it doesn't go to 90. It just goes to about 85 or 80 degrees or something like that. But then when I push myself, I can go to 90. So after a lot of exercises, I was able to come this far. And then I can do a lot of, let's say, push-ups and all of those things today. But in the past, when I was training my body, it took me 1 year to train my body to this level. And I learned how to do shoulder stands and many of these things, also Shirsasana. All of that I can do now, because I did exercises to get my hand back. And many people who don't do these exercises, it'll remain weak. And even when the body was just recovering, slowly I would start to lift guava, orange, lemon. Even lemon was very difficult at one point. So lifting lemon, I would catch lemon and then I would try to do these movements. So right from that stage, I have now learned to push my own body up and down. So you can do anything. But of course, in my case also, there is a certain, I can't push my body to an extent where I try to, let's say, do handstands and all. That was my dream, to go to handstands. But I realized that because the bone had broken, and in whatever way the doctor has attached it, in whatever way it has got attached, because it was a very oblique tear, oblique cut, oblique, what do you say it's called? It had got separated. So somehow and all, it has got joined. That is why I have a protrusion and all of that. So because of that, I have realized that when I do handstands, it pains after some time. So I did not go to push for an handstand. Yeah, to some extent I can do, but I did not really pursue that a whole lot, because it was just satisfying the ego and nothing else. So I just left that, and I do a lot more other exercises. So it is very important that you listen to your body, and you are able to understand what is okay for you and what is not okay for you. So always focus on improving your strength, improving and making sure that you are strong and you are agile. Agile means you are fast and you are light. When will you be light? When you're not full of cooked food. Then you'll feel light always. So this is very important. When many people come to me and say, ma'am, I've lost so much of weight, people look at me and say, you are not looking good, you're not looking good. You eat animal food, eat this food, eat that food, you're not eating food. That is why you are very thin. People have put on weight even with juices under me. And when people have these low self-esteems, I make them do exercises. I make them go and then do strength exercises and all that. Because when they start to do exercises, for more often than not, their mind becomes very, very confident. Because what they couldn't do in the past, they are able to do now. And when they are getting to that phase, that confidence you can apply back to the food routine, and they somehow become far more disciplined in their food habits also. So it has a very good pairing relationship, exercise and food. So people have gone through a lot of weight gain also through exercises. If not exercises also, through when they do juicing and exercises combined, the body cleanses up and they get better. More often than not, when people have IBS, when people have colon related issues, Crohn's disease, and all of these issues, they will not put on weight until the body cleanses and the body is normal. They usually don't put on weight, and slowly they'll get better. Even if they're eating unhealthy today because they should not lose weight and all of that, that will also slowly get rectified. Because in my opinion, I've only seen thin people with IBS because that absorption capacity is very, very less. So here also exercises definitely builds the muscles, strengthens the muscles, and slowly as they apply that in their food also, it gets better. So exercises also helps you raise your vibes in many ways, because endorphins are released. When endorphins are released, you get positive feelings. Especially when people have been exercising, you'll notice that when you feel like going to the gym, you'll be like, no, it's early morning, I don't want to go. I don't want to get up for yoga and all of that. But then when you go and then finish up all of that early morning routine, you'll feel very happy. And then you are very excited, and all of that josh is there inside the body. So those are like raising your vibes. Then it reduces nervous tension. It provides good sleep. Of course, good sleep. If you are tired with respect to all of these things and you've done a lot of exercises, yes, you'll improve your sleep. But many people who have a lot of toxins, even if they do exercises, they don't get sleep. So here, it's not just exercises that helps, it is also the lifestyle, how clean the body is, that helps them sleep. Then mental clarity improves. All of these things are a byproduct of all the subtle benefits that you see when you exercise. Okay. Then anxiety levels also gets really better. Like I said, self-esteem issues, all of those things, self-worth issues really gets better. I've seen this in many, one case of male I've seen like this, and then many females who do a lot at home, who are housewives, and their husbands, or probably they hear this from their husbands saying, you are not looking good, you're very thin, and all of that. They have seen a lot of self-improvement when they have done exercises. So what is the right way to exercise? Always warm up and cool down is very essential. So warming up what happens when they warm up is, before you start your rigorous exercise routine, when you move all your body parts, like move your neck, move your arms, move your elbows, then bending. So moving all your body parts in whatever way it can move actually warms up that muscle. So when the muscle is warm, you can actually take it to the next level, and then it will get heated, and then it will start to work better. But then right from cool stage, you can't really go to sudden high state unless you are daily exercising. If you are just not a very regular exercise and you're a person who exercises very slowly, then warm up is essential. And warm up, especially when you're not on juices and all of that, warm up is even more essential, because since the body is not freely moving, toxins are all still getting accumulated here and there, then warm up is definitely essential. Even let's say when you're in high amount of juicing, in warm up doesn't become very essential over a period of time. Then you should also choose your exercises as per your ability and your interest. Like I like to do a lot of regular functional HIIT core, those kinds of workouts. But then Asha doesn't like to do. She feels it's very mundane, so she does Kalari Pattu, that Kerala martial arts is there, right? So she does that, and whatever body movements that kind of martial arts has, she does that. So for her, dance and those kinds of rhythmic movements really interests her a lot. For me, this is what interests me, because for me, when I move my body and I feel good about it, that is more than enough for me. And then I'm not a person who wants to do, if I'm learning yoga, it's not like I want to do different asanas, get motivated by doing some challenging exercises. I'm not a person like that. For me, as long as I get enough movement in my body to keep me strong on a daily basis, that is good enough for me. If I'm doing the same kind of exercises, almost same variations every other time, also, that is more than enough. But it's not like I just want a lot of variety and all that. But yeah, then when you do some of these things in nature, in between the plants, in between the trees, you can see that your oxygen supply is so good that you'll not at all feel tired. I have done 108 Surya Namaskaras in Lal Bagh in Bangalore, and I just did not feel tired at all. It was so good. We did it very fast and we didn't feel tired at all. But I've done the same things at home, even with windows open and doors open and all of that, I still felt that fatigue. So because of lack of enough oxygen supply. So in between these trees and all, oxygen supply is a lot. I mean, it's in abundance. And then proper exercises should help you feel fresh and rejuvenated. Of course, initially you might feel tired, but then once you take a bath and all that, you will feel really good. And no supplements or protein powders are necessary for your exercises. Many people just go wrong in this, and then they say that I need protein, ma'am, I need protein. My exercise guy is saying that I need protein. Which protein can I use? Because people who take protein supplements, they see a lot of progress. They see their muscle improvement a lot. But the problem is these muscles also, the quicker they grow, they'll also come down so quickly. And I've seen one of my gym instructors. I used to go after drinking lemon water. I would go to the gym and then I would start working out. And then I had far more stamina than people who would eat breakfast and all and come. So he would say, how do you have so much of stamina? I would say, I'm just on lemon water. See, this is my lifestyle. Then he was really shocked. And then he said, see, he was training bodybuilders at a national level. So he was like, see, I eat 20 eggs a day, so much of chicken, all that he was saying. But if you are able to do without this, why am I eating all of these things to get the same benefit? Even I can, of course, he was very good. He was definitely better than me, but he was just trying to compare. Then he understood the ethical aspects of being vegan. for him that resonated far more than what this was, because he somehow saw a dog and then he felt like he should not eat the dog and all of that. So some connection there he had, and he went off vegan, and he saw this, and together he started adding fruits, juices and all that into his routine. And then he saw a lot of benefit. His muscles also went down actually, because he had grown all of that with a lot of non-veg, right? So all that became like a flat balloon. He was like, where did my muscles go? I lost all my muscles. And then he realized himself that he had got it too quickly, and he had to lose it also very quickly. So then he understood that, oh, this is a upward curve. I need to make that time to build my exercises. And then slowly, after 2 to 3 years, he built those exercise. He built those muscles, and he also felt very good about it, because it was not without any. It was not with any supplements or protein powders, because he's seen people take a lot of these and get into kidney issues and all of that in the competitions. So he knew that he will not. He himself had taken some of these supplements and protein powders, so he knew the side effects of kidney problems. Pains and all of those things they get is what he was telling. So he didn't want to go through that route, but yeah, he was still on eating protein in the form of non-veg. But he quit that also, and he saw a lot of benefit. So also avoid over-exercising. We talked about it. Exercise is not a stimulant. See, when you feel tired, like naturally tired, especially when we do workouts in the beginning, muscles will be sore. At that time, you don't have to stop exercises. You just have to go there and just take it one notch down. You don't have to push yourself to do whatever you did yesterday. You can just take it one notch down, and then you can do it. Over time, you'll get better. But instead of not doing it at all, then resting is extremely important. You can't exercise all 7 days of the week and then all of that. You have to rest. For me, Saturday and Sunday, I don't do any exercise. Sometimes, if they have not done exercises on a weekday, for me, I would just do something at home, and then I would not do exercises on Saturday and Sunday. For me, it has become like that. So, and exercise is not should not be used as a punishment for overeating. My daughter would do that. She would eat whatever she wants. Typically, rice only. She loves rice. So she would overeat rice, and she would say, I'm going to go and exercise in the gym. She goes to gym. So she would do a lot of this, lot of that and all that. And then, so she would keep doing this. And then over time, I didn't say anything. Over time, she realized that she's actually not reducing at all, even after doing all that. That is when she said, oh, I can't actually eat and then go do that, because you can't, the amount of eating that you do, you actually can't burn so much. It takes more than a day or something for that to get converted into whatever, and you'll not be able to remove the equivalent amount, because body is a very complex organ thing. Right? Then listen to your body. Then yeah, check with your practitioner before you start. So you should feel joy when you're doing all of these exercises. Combine it with proper breathing, and do it as per your capability. If you are a beginner, do beginner level exercises. If you're a intermediate, do intermediate level exercises. If you're a advanced person, do advanced exercises. So don't bring ego. Don't compare yourself to anybody, and especially when you're doing all of these exercises. Yeah. So tomorrow we'll be dealing with we all face a lot of issues when we go plant-based or when we change our lifestyles. The family is not in agreement. Nobody is there to support us. And in this kind of a thing, how do we work with our family? What is important to focus on? What is not? What is okay to let go? How to focus on self-love and self-healing? All of these things I'm going to talk tomorrow. Until then, I'm going to stop sharing. If you have any questions, you can ask now. Do you have any questions? Any questions, friends? No questions. We have 5 more minutes. Patel sir, you want to talk? You can unmute yourself. Okay. You can tell in the chat if you want me to unmute you and you're not able to unmute yourself, or you're not able to hand raise, all of that. No questions?
Okay.
Who's talking? Sorry, I didn't realize. Patel sir, tell me, sir. Yes, do you have any questions, sir? Do you have any question? You are on mute. You went on mute again.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Tell me.
This Atma Devo Bhava and Gudakesha, both are is conflicting each other. How would we say the other one also start from 8:30 to 6 o'clock in the morning?
See, Gudakesha happens in the night. Okay. Atma Deepo Bhava happens in the early morning, between 5 to 7 o'clock.
Oh, 5 to 7 o'clock. Okay. All right.
Gudakesha happens in the night, 10 p.m.
Okay. I see. And what about in the daytime it's happened too?
Daytime is Atma Deepo Bhava in the early morning.
Early morning. In the morning, but anything afternoon or during the day?
No, sir. Nothing really happens in the.
Okay. So from 5 to 7, Atma Deva Bhava.
Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Atma Vandan ma'am. Thank you. Okay. I will be, enjoying that. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Sure.
Bye.
We'll meet.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Sure. Only Surya Namaskara is enough. How much? Thank you. Depending on your capability, Surya Namaskara is a good thing to start. But I would advise that you also focus on strength. Because if you're doing Surya Namaskara and using combinations of strength, cardio, everything put together, it depends on how you're balancing all of that. I'm just giving a figure saying if you do 108 Surya Namaskaras every single day for, let's say, a month, then your entire body will be very strong, provided you do 108 every single day. So, okay, so that's how it is. Then based on that, you can do up and down. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. No, I just want to say that what you are suggesting is about exercise is very good. What I have been doing exercise for about 25 years, 30 years, and I alternate the stretching exercise one day and the strength building exercise the other day, like walking or push-ups and jumping jack and so forth. So by alternating your exercise, you're giving exercise to every part of your body one way or the other, in either stretching or building up your strength. And it has become my routine, like for an hour and a half, and it's like nothing. I enjoy it. It's not like I'm doing it because I want to get somewhere or want to get better. And there is no such thing, like you say, there's no competition here. Do what you can up to your ability. You don't have to compare yourself with anyone. No, not even with your kids, your wife, your husband, or whatever, or friends, that I can do so many push-ups and you can do this. None of that. Just do it for your own benefit, and it will help you, and you'll get better and better. And then you can add different exercises. And I do yoga and especially pranayam. So whole idea is to give oxygen to every part of your cell. We have 40 trillion cells in our body, so they should get oxygen. And that's the idea. And then the other exercises, and um, uh, be close to the earth. You can walk bare feet on the grass when you can, or hug a tree or whatever. And these are all exercises for your own mental stability and happiness, as well as your body. So don't compare yourself. Do what you can. Go to the extreme as much as possible, and then stop when it is aching or paining or whatever you have to. So yeah, you're correct. People take exercise like to compare with others, and especially in a gym when they go, so much so and so can walk for 2 hours and I cannot do it for 10 minutes. Well, if you can do it for 10 minutes, do it for 9 minutes, but do it, and you'll get better. So thank
Yeah.
you for your
Sure.
class. Yeah.
Thank you. Well
Thank
said. Yeah, thank you. Maheen, can you come and talk about what is your question? Can you unmute yourself? Maheen, you asked a question on the chat. Would you want to talk about it and ask the question?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I just I've been listening to your talk and I find it really interesting. But I have been seeing that in the past, whenever I go raw or I eat a lot of salads or something like that, my sleep is completely disturbed. I just cannot sleep at night. Maybe because I'm a Vata person, and I just feel so airy about this thing that unless I have some stability with some grains, I am not able to like sleep. Basically, my sleep gets disturbed.
How many videos have you seen so far, and till which video have you seen?
No, I have, to be honest enough, I have only seen 2 of your videos, though I've been seeing on YouTube and other things. But I have been seeing, and I was quite interested because this question has been bothering me a lot. And I have not met many people who are vegans and who have talked about this aspect where this aspect is addressed, especially for people who are not kapha, people who are vata. Does it suit them?
No, see, we've discussed all of these things in very, very great detail in all of our videos. The Ayurvedic concepts, and why all of these bloating and other issues happen, and why you feel like having grains. All of these things have been discussed in like literally a great detail, because not every single person had the same issue. And people have followed the advice of doing a lot of juices and all of that, and they've cleared the body. See, when you go on a vegan diet suddenly and you put a lot of raw and other things into your stomach, which is already full of a lot of roadblocks, obviously you will face a lot of bloating. You don't have to name it as Vata, Pitta, Kapha and all of that, because those, if you look at Ayurvedic, it came after nature cure, when people started falling sick. And that's when any form of medicine came. And Ayurvedic is also a form of medicine where it tries to help you get relieved of your symptoms. In nature care, we are not trying to help you get relieved of any of your symptoms. We are just saying let it come out, which is very unlike what any of your medicine system teaches, isn't it? So all of these things is something that you have to pay attention to the videos. All of these are explained in great detail. At least if you come to the 4th video, you'll get a lot of clarity. In the initial videos, you might just have some fundamentals of how this lifestyle is, what is raw, what are dense foods and those kinds of things. But as we started proceeding a little deeper and deeper after the fundamentals, we started to explain how you apply those fundamentals in your daily life, and comparing to what you already know, which many people have understood this from Ayurveda perspective. So there is nothing like a kapha is majorly all your mucus buildup that happens again because of your acidic lifestyle. See, Ayurveda doesn't say go on raw and all of that, because when those kinds of systems came, people had deviated a whole lot into a different kind of lifestyle, which was very far away from what they were supposed to lead. And it was for various reasons, which I've also covered in the thing with respect to duality and all that. I've also covered a whole lot of that. So as of now, if you have not undergone a proper understanding, if you have not understood why the body behaves like this, you can't blame on raw. Because if raw has helped somebody else and it has not helped you, it means that it's the body's problem. It is not the problem with the thing. And then you can't again still blame it on vata, pitta, and just be, okay, I'm going to blame it on something unknown like that, which really I can't control, and I'm just going to be okay. It doesn't work like that. You have to understand your body to a lot extent, and then give it the ideal conditions that are necessary to clean it. So the more you clean it, the better it will be in the form to accept these raw. Those are your original foods, but because we've been dumping it with non-original foods for a very long time, it now can't accommodate these things because there is no movement in the body. So once you bring a lot of movement, they will be able to go outside fast, and then there won't be any rotting and putrefying that is happening in the body. And when you say, when I eat grains, I feel better, it is because the body takes a lot of time to work on grains, and you will not see the kind of healing that the body is trying to do. And that is why you don't see any, symptoms. Many people, right, who go through migraines and all that, they say, ma'am, if I keep my stomach empty, or if I eat something like raw foods and all that, I feel like I'm getting a headache. So what I do, I eat a lot of grains, idli, dosa, whatever, or rasam, sambar, or whatever. I'm going to eat all that usual stuff. And then my headache goes away. Headache did not go away anywhere, because next day again headache comes back. But where did it go suddenly after you ate all that food? Because digestion is a mutually exclusive process. And then if you put something in the body to digest, it has to work on it. It will put a lot more energy to work on it. So that is why when you put complex foods inside your body will not heal you. It is just getting distracted and postponed. Because tomorrow again, you're going to get the same problem back. So you just have to understand how to clean up the body and allow the proper movement to happen. Like anything, just treat your body like a pipe. And if the pipe is so stuffed up, then anything else that you put inside the body also will see a lot of waiting period to get out. So the more delay the food is taking to get out of the body, the more rotting process happens inside the body. And that rotting process creates a lot of bloating and fermentation effects. Like methane gas, a lot of that is produced, ammonia gas is produced, all that is produced, and makes you feel a lot more suffocated. And this has nothing to do with raw. It has only to do with the kind of lifestyle you have been leading, and the kind of application of lifestyle you have been leading. So once you look at the videos, this has been explained in great detail. I'm sure you'll find your answers. Thank you, Mahi. Okay, if nobody has any questions, then we can wrap up for the day. Thank you, everyone. Tomorrow we are going to discuss about the social issues, and how to go to parties and how to deal with majorly some of these social interactions and issues that we typically deal with. So we are going to come back and then have your questions. So it will help me answer better. The more questions you come up with, it can be more interactive, because that is one of the very important topics that will actually make or break the situation. Because many people don't go through these lifestyles because of family support not being there for them. So I want you all to come up with issues that you all have faced so that we can keep this more interactive. Okay. Thank you very much. Take care. Be blessed. Extremely grateful that you all have joined.